back, everybody, to episode 6 of the Undisputed Combo Podcast with myself, El Toro Fuerte, Shadowhaunt Joker, and the Unfound Prodigy. That dude, Colby, will be joining us shortly. Gentlemen, how the heck are you doing?
Pretty good, guys. It was a good week for me. As you guys know, we all opened up some Lightning Overdrive here, and we all got some amazing pulls. And if you don't know what we're talking about, guys, you better check out our channels on YouTube, and you'll find out.
Yes, you got to take a look at the Unfound Prodigy's unboxing. Phenomenal, one of the best boxes or case. You had a box, right?
Just the box.
Just a box. Okay,
yeah, he had a box.
Yeah. And the Shadowhaunt Joker actually had a couple of cases open. The birthday case, those turned out real well. But yeah, I mean, you guys are my go-to for box openings and case breaks and all that stuff. So thank you very much. Why don't we go ahead and get started? I know we got a jam-packed agenda here, so we'll go ahead and start out with the shout outs. And Mr. Joker, let's start with you.
Actually, I want to give a shout out to Jeremy from Flipside Gaming over in Clifton Park, because I pulled it. You called it once again.
Oh.
So Jeremy on Flipside, I pulled the Lucimon that everybody's after right now. And my second shout out actually goes to the locals nearby me. Those kids are doing well getting their Pokemon now. I'm happy for that, because it's been rough trying to find Pokemon cards for them. So all those little kids that finally got their Pokemon, here's hoping that y'all get that Charizard y'all been after. Go for it.
Hey, nice. Very nice. Well, yes, absolutely. Mr. Prodigy.
Yeah. For me, my shout outs are going to go to Prodigy Games TCG. Pretty good website to get some TCG products from. They have reasonable prices, sometimes unbelievable prices, And who else? Once again, Metabro Jake. He's been shouting us out pretty well on Instagram. I just want to make sure you guys support him on his road to 600. And yeah, that's about it for me.
All right. Very nice. Yes, Super Meta Bros. We got them coming up as guests soon in a future episode. So hopefully everybody will be excited and stay tuned for that. But I'm going to go ahead with my shout outs. The usual. I've got the usual too. Mr. Doolian TV for Digimon content. We also got our friend Shadowhaunt Joker here, who is also doing Digimon content. But Doolian, he's doing, he does a lot of giveaways, locals, live videos. And then, of course, he's raising money for a very good, important cause at the moment. The Burial Ground Podcast with my brother Mark. If you're into wrestling and if you follow him on Twitter, you already know what it's about. But be prepared. He does tend to roast and not hold back, but he does spit facts. So there you go with that. Now on to the regular shout outs. My friend Casual from Instagram. Thank you so much. All right. And then we also have a couple of shout outs in Germany. So I'm going to say, Schrei nach meinen Freunden in Deutschland. All right. And then I'm going to say, so here's a little something for my friends in Deutschland. All right. I am going to put down a shot of Jaeger to celebrate you. I've got Monkey D. Lowy and his friend, and we had trouble pronouncing this, but I'm going to say Bang Yangook 97. So BANGYONGGUK 97, a Twitch streamer, his friend. Take a look if you're on Twitch. Go ahead and, pause the video or the sound and replay it so you can write that down and follow him. And my friend, the Red Rocket Rockstar, and his amazing sister, Amazing Charlotte, with her cooking recipes. So here is to you all, meinen Freunden.
Ooh.
That was good, actually. I actually like Jaeger. You guys ever had any Jaeger bombs before?
I had a Vegas bomb, so...
Who said Vegas bomb? What is that?
This guy right there.
It has to do with Red Bull and something else. And I'm going to just tell you now, you won't notice it at first, but after your second, you notice. You just notice it.
Yeah. Well,
it's
that's
like
nice.
having that best friend behind you. Yeah, we're friends. You wake up the next morning. Who are you?
Why did you let me do
that
that?
feeling? Yeah, it's that.
Yeah. Well, Excellent. Colby, welcome. Now let's transition into what's new. So since you just joined us, Colby, what's new?
Honestly, looking at the new support that OCG is getting, and I'm hoping TCG, I think it was Burst of Destiny with the Flunderies.
Oh, yeah.
Words cannot describe of how broken you can make it.
Interesting.
So Monarch Stormforth is already a scary card.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take that, but instead of using a monster, let's use anything your opponent has. Oh, did you play Mystic Mine? Kind of funny. Thank you.
I played.
I'm gonna use that as material.
Oh, Mystic Mine as material. Nice.
Mystic Mine is material for tribute summon, everyone. And it's even funnier. What's even funnier is it pairs with its field spell. Your opponent summons, you get to summon. Oh, I have one monster in field, and you have Mystic Mine. Big monster.
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting. I know I've seen some of that, and I've seen a lot of people already testing them out on different platforms like Yugioh Pro and maybe Dueling Book, but I've seen pictures and it seems pretty crazy. So I'm generally excited for that.
The only thing I see weak about it is Ash Blossom.
Ash Blossom. Okay, well, the good old Ash Blossom strikes once again and defeats
or also a really big hit. And I know I said is a really good hand trap before, and everyone probably already knows what I'm about to say. Lance. The reason being is because when the level 4s leave the field, they're banished. Then when you get the normal summon again, you get to grab your banished level 4s from your banish zone to your hand. Tell me, how are you going to do that when we're in the grave?
Well, you can't. As always.
Yeah, can't really do that.
Yeah. Well,
guess I'll build a wall. Imperial Iron Wall.
Lots to look forward to. I know that there's been a lot of hype and everybody's already freaking out and buying all the cards that they can think of to try and counter this deck, which is actually kind of comical, being that it just came out in the OCG. So we'll see.
Yeah. Well, it's not even out in the OCG yet.
Oh, it's not.
It's a set that's coming in OCG. It comes out in July.
Okay, so right around the corner for OCG.
Yeah, it's coming. It's not even confirmed if it's going to be in the TCG or not.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
I hope it does. I hope it does because I remember seeing it and I was just like, I really want to run this. 4 hours later, YouTube notification. Wow, this deck's broken. Don't you remember my discussion that like I always made the joke, Konami takes a look at what I like, and it's just like he likes that meta.
I wish you would like S4s. I'm kidding.
I'm about to run Ojama, guys. Don't worry.
There you go. Bring Ojama to the meta. That's how we do it.
Tier 0 time.
All right. Well, thank you, Colby. Mr. Prodigy, what's new?
Let's see here. What's new with me? I can't say nothing much. I am working on my Amazement deck. Thanks to Mr. Shadowhaunt Joker over here, who's an awesome seller, guys. If you don't know, he does sell cards on TCG and Instagram and all those other platforms. Get your cards from him. Thanks to him, I was able to get some Amazement cards, put it together, and I'll be working on that next for a deck profile, hopefully a good one. Other than that, let's see here. Starlight Rare, guys, if you don't know, Black Rose came home to the Undisputed combo cast here. We all got pieces of the rose, and there you go.
That was amazing. Congratulations, by the way. You were long overdue.
Once a year, guys. At least once a year, a Starlight.
I'd love to pull one once a year.
Unless you're Joker, in which case it's one every like 3 seconds.
Every other box, yeah.
Every other pack.
What's new, right? Mr. Joker?
Well, I made a video as of today to talk to like new sellers and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Well, to go into detail, yes, I'm opening a Digimon box, but I'm trying to give a little bit of insight, and it's going to be somewhat of a ongoing thing that I'll do. to help anyone that wants to try to sell on TCG Player or any of the other like places to sell. But I just want to clarify, this is something that people have been asking me to do. So I'm gonna work with people, get them to get into a decent standpoint for TCG Player, and who knows, maybe this will be my ongoing thing to talk about.
Sounds good.
I can tell you right now that it's going to be a hit. And the reason being is I've had a lot of experiences, mostly positive, but there are a lot of sellers who just don't know where to start when it comes to, pricing point, when it comes to shipping, packaging, all that good stuff. It's going to help. It's going to help a lot, especially if somebody can go to YouTube and just, how to whatever, just different ways, search methods. Hopefully they take it right to yours and you teach them, because I know, yes, you do a phenomenal job, not only with pricing, but with shipping. There we go. There we go.
Oh, man.
Yes. So yes, Mr. Prodigy, I'm coming for you. Gonna mirror match.
No,
what's even
amazing.
What's even cooler is I've had this Card Fight Vanguard box and the sleeves for the longest time, and I could not think of what deck to use it for. And lo and behold, amazement is just
there. You go.
Here
it comes again.
It's perfect.
War Rock for life.
I'm excited. Oh yeah, War Rock for life. Well, we'll be getting some duels in soon once these are complete. And yeah. So what's new with me? So I've been playing World of Warcraft Burning Crusade. I took the dive and I love it and I hate it because it's nostalgia. The Ignisters and salad. And so it's a lot of fun, but it's a pain. It sucks. There's times where I hate it. So yeah, I've been playing that and I don't plan on stopping. One of the individuals I wanted to mention in what's new is a person by the name of figure _ affair, I believe, on Instagram. And this pertains to anybody who's into anime such as Dragon Ball or any other anime for that matter. This is a phenomenal person, does a lot of figure sales, and I wish I had some. Actually, I could probably grab one off my son's shelf here. There's a Rem back there, but he sells some of the figures at such an amazing price, and some of them, the boxes that they come in are a little bit worn, some of them are not, but the price is just amazing. And he does things like mystery boxes, $100 mystery boxes, $50. The catch here is really there's no catch. He does a ton of freebies. If you send him some money and you say, I'd like this figure or these figures, you're going to get way more than that. Sometimes the freebies, the value of the freebies are more than the actual figures that you bought. Very generous person that I started following a long time ago, and then Mr. Prodigy as well. And he doesn't post a lot, and I believe he's still private because he had some issues with a few people who wanted him canceled for some silly reasons a while back, but he's still around doing some great things. And that community is phenomenal too. I mean, I've met some amazing individuals, Dark Matter Thieves. Yes, sir. And I could list a whole bunch of them, but yeah, so I just wanted to mention him. Necessarily new, but I felt like he deserved his own little spotlight for everything he does for the community. Just an amazing person overall and extremely generous, much like our friend Shadowhaunt Joker. So that's what I got for what's new. Transitioning over into funny tweets. Now, I don't necessarily know that this is funny per se, more as instead of concerning, and I shared it with you all, and it has to do with the new Loki charms. So it's it's Lucky Charms, but it's actually Loki. And I'm gonna see if I can get the camera to pick it up on my phone there. Can't really see it too well, but anyways, I'll post an image up on the screen here on the video. So for those of you who watch on YouTube, you'll see it. Now, these cereal boxes are being scalped. And so this person puts, the scalpers have now taken over food. This should be illegal. Stop paying, stop paying scalpers. And these cereal boxes are going for 100, 140, 150 and up. So what they're buying them out and they're scalping these. And what it is, it's just Loki on it, and they're Lucky Charms, but they're Loki Charms. So I thought that was funny, but it's also insane that that people are doing this. But I guess it's all relative, right? I mean, look at us. We're paying $100 for cardboard.
I mean, that's true too.
I think I spent like a maximum of like $50 total for my reptile deck.
Yeah.
And that's the entire deck.
Well, you're
Granted,
smart.
I'm not running the FTK version because there's only 2 printings, and both printings are almost $40.
Yeah.
You know why? Because marshmallows didn't come with your reptile deck. That's what happened. That's why it was only $50.
Low-key
That's exactly what
marshmallows.
happened. But go ahead.
Joker.
That's me, Lucky Charms, dramatically scalping. Stop it. Seriously, why are you scalping children's cereal? Then again, if we could scalp soap, then we know where it's going. You're finally there. Now I'm just saying.
Scalping is basically evolving, but backwards.
They get some head and shoulders and get that scalp clean.
It started at toilet paper to playing cards to cereal. It is legit. Everyone knows the meme format, but it's evolving, but backwards.
Kids evolve to get a job.
Yes.
I was like, this is my job, guys. This is my job.
No, I need to not do this job. No, I need to actually be with people.
Lisa?
Mr. Prodigy, what are your thoughts on this whole cereal debacle here, these Loki charms?
I just think it's ridiculous. When you first showed me that photo, I was just like, is this really happening? Yeah. Like, people are spending $150 for cereal. That's gonna go stale in 2 weeks, mind you. I hope you guys know this. It's gonna go stale. Okay. I mean, if you're buying it for the box, I guess. But the cereal, guys, come on.
Keep it sealed, I guess, right?
Keep it sealed? Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah. I mean, if you're collecting it, more power to you. If you're paying $150 for a box of cereal because you want to collect it, more, hey, great to the seller, I can't. And again, I'm speaking as a card collector, as a figure collector, where I pay, in a video game collector, where I pay good amounts of money for cardboard, And so people might look at me the same way and say, what is wrong with this El Toro Fuerte? He's paying all that for a little piece of cardboard, Ooh, I like that price. That's awesome. That is awesome. You get your Fruity Pebbles and your kunai prize. That's awesome. So
luck is with me.
Yes. Yeah, lucky charms. But yeah, so I just thought that was crazy. I wanted to share that. All the craziness just never seems to end. That's why I love Twitter so much. Now, I'm not active on Twitter as far as tweeting and liking and retweeting. Occasionally I'll say congratulations or I'll like something, but most part I just scroll through and I write stuff down, and it helps with content for the podcast, as you can see, and it gives us something to discuss and just go, interesting conversations there. The other thing that came out on Twitter was there was something recently where it sparked a little bit of outrage, and it was the acronym for a specific deck. How they show the meta decks and they have the little pie chart and what percentage did what, and one of them was listed as AIDS, AIDS. Alistair invoked what's the D for? I can't remember. Dogmatica Shadow. And so there were some people that were extremely offended by that, and then they tied it to the using AIDS as a form of racism, and it just went everywhere. When realistically, it's just people trying to be funny, and I guess some people take offense to it, but I hear it all the time. I used to hear it. I mean, that's been. I don't use it personally, but I do hear people say, "Oh, that deck is AIDS," or an overpowered class in a video game. "Oh, you run that, it's AIDS." And just like when people talk in football, they say that individual is a locker room cancer. I don't hear anybody. A lot of people suffer from cancer, but it's one of those things where they reference it to, and so. I don't know. I want to get your guys' take on this. Why don't we start with you, Joker? I mean, what do you think about this?
I think mainly it's because cancer can just happen. Mm-hmm. But in all honesty, I try not to use those kind of jokes.
Yeah.
Only because I lost family members to cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So I have somewhat of a respect to it.
Yeah.
But you will hear me at times mention something as cancer, but I don't mean it as in, oh man, that deck, it's cancer. You suck at life. No, I'm just like, it's a problem.
Yeah.
So if you hear me say it, I'm not trying to be like overly edgy or anything. No, I'm just stating like it's a problem.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm not doing it to poke fun at people.
Yeah.
It's going to sound a little hypocritical, but I think someone will actually understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And I think most, I don't want to say level-headed, but I'm going to say it. Most level-headed people get it. You know, you're not trying to deliberately insult somebody. Again, I don't talk like that. I just throw out F-bombs and stuff when I play video games and in my head when I'm dueling, getting whooped. Except with you guys, because I laugh a lot with you guys. But, you know, the biggest thing that I took away from this is, okay, somebody used the acronym AIDS for this. So, and then that basically set off another person. This person was just going around insulting, dropping hatred everywhere on everybody. And it's like, okay, for one thing, if you're going to take offense to something like that, there is a nice way to get your message across and say, hey, you know what? I find this a little offensive for whatever reason. Would anybody mind using SAID as the acronym? SAID. You know, something like that. You can catch more flies with honey or whatever you want to say, you know, if you want to be diplomatic about it. But that's the funny thing about Twitter is nobody's very diplomatic. Nobody likes to have discussion. They just like to just rage and rant and rave and start canceling people left and right and assuming everything. And to me, that's just wrong. I mean, Mr. Prodigy, what do you think? What are your thoughts on this?
I think the same as Joker. I mean, there's always ways to get your point across, and it doesn't have to be so edgy at times. And I feel like a discussion is definitely valid here. Like, even if you're offended, there's always a way to go, you know, bring your point across without, you know, making waves, I should say. I don't want to denies people's rights to, you know, speak their opinions or whatever, but, you know, there's always a way to go about it. But for me, I wouldn't use it. When you first told me about it, I never heard about like AIDS being an acronym for a Yu-Gi-Oh deck.
Yeah.
You know, for me, you know, I was just like, oh, this is okay. I mean, I guess, like, you know, like, but that's not something I would say, you know, for myself.
Yeah, and to read the tweet here, it says, this is the individual that was very upset. If you call Amazement Invoke Shadow Dogmatica AIDS, I will come to your house and turn you into a bloody puddle on the floor. I'm not joking about this. We are well beyond the stage of naming decks like this. This is 2021, not your shitty something, some just goes on and on and on. To me, that's just Joker. Go ahead. You want to say something?
Hold up. Okay. I get that you're mad, but you're going to threaten to kill somebody. I get the joke was offensive to you, but you cannot actually physically threaten someone like that. I'm still trying to figure out this contradiction here. Okay, it's wrong of him or her to make that kind of a joke. Okay, but it's okay for you to threaten. It's like, on the other hand, back to what I was saying about cancer. I say something is cancer, but I don't specify what kind of cancer. That's where the joke should just end there. So this, seriously, people, we need a chill pill. Take some magnesium. Calm down. It's a joke. It's wrong. You spoke, but you don't have to threaten someone's life.
And that being said, I mean, let's be real here. I mean, the people that are always making these threats, typically we call them the keyboard warriors, the internet tough guys and gals, typically would not make these threats to anybody in person. Now, I don't disrespect anybody online or in person. I mean, what you see is what you get. If I'm in person, I'm the nicest person. And, you know, if something happens, disrespect, then we take it from there. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking for attention, I mean, obviously this individual got it from that. And then you had a mixture of opinions and arguments as the tweets went on. But I think mission accomplished if they were looking for attention and doing that. But at the same time, there's a better way to say it that I would suggest. You know, again, if you find it offensive, keep scrolling. That's what I would do. Oh yeah, that sucks. But if you really, really, really have to advocate on the side of change, do it nicely. Don't threaten people. And just say, hey, why don't we, instead of using AIDS, let's say SAID or something else. You know, people are clever. They can come up with all kinds of different stuff. I mean, that's my opinion. Colby, what do you think? I know you're sitting there grubbing your dinner probably. What are your thoughts on this whole situation?
Personally, and this might just be because when the time I was like born and around this type of stuff, it was relatively young. So I'm a little more used to it than most people.
Yeah.
Let's put that same person who made that comment and just put him into a Modern Warfare 2 lobby. How long do you think he'll last?
Yeah.
30 seconds, things jumping ship.
Mm-hmm. Also, as a side note, let's make sure to only give him Riot Shield.
That's all he's getting.
I give it 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I think everyone under the sun knows about that clip. But then again, this might just be me because I was introduced to it very young. I think I was like 11 or 10 when Modern Warfare 2 came out, maybe even younger. I don't remember.
4 years ago? No, I'm kidding.
I'll put it this way. Black Ops 1. Yeah, Black Ops 1, I remember came out when I was 12. So Modern Warfare 2 probably came out when I was 10, maybe 9 ish. But I do understand some portion of it. You know, some things may just offend you, and that's fine. Everyone has something like a small spot where you don't want to really poke at, but you can't be upset at people saying it because they might be offended at something. If you say to them, you might be offended at it. You just say like, hey guys, like what you said. Don't say it like that. Let's just say something like, hey, instead of calling it this, let's call it this, or something.
There's a diplomatic and peaceful way to get your message across without threatening people over Twitter. I mean, I'm sure people are shaking in their boots and whatnot, but realistically, as a person who I respect people and I expect respect back, and there's that level of mutual respect. For having a discussion, somebody starts saying something that bothers me, I typically just let it go. Now, if they keep saying it in a derogatory manner, then I'm going to say something, but I'm not going to threaten to physically harm them or anything like that. I mean, you rarely ever get to that point with anybody. Most of the time, somebody's being acting stupid, I just walk away or I just keep scrolling or mute them, whatever it is. But it's amazing to me to see these things where people are saying, if you say this, I'm going to go to your house and leave you in a bloody puddle. Well, my friend, I don't think you have that ability, for one thing. Twitter keyboard warriors typically don't. But even if you did, there's consequences to be had. So, Mr. Prodigy.
I mean, like you said, there's always a way to ignore that person or block that person. If they're saying a message that you don't want to hear, just stay away altogether. I mean, everybody has like Kobe said, everybody has a spot where they're going to get offended because they might have a moment in their life where that moment related to them that hurt them, So I don't want to dismiss those people, AIDS, like going back to the AIDS thing, there might be someone in your family that died to AIDS or something like that, any other disease or whatever that's out there. So, I don't want to dismiss them. Everybody has a right to be angry, but, at the same time, when you're online, you got to know where those people are. You just got to know how to curve around them or just like that. Don't even look at them. Don't even pay attention to them, Sometimes people's jobs are just to rile you up. They just want to get that reaction. And once they get it, they're happy. They're going to go on with their lives. But, you're the one that's going to feel the pain at the end of the day. So I'd say just leave them alone. Let them do their thing,
Keep dueling.
Yeah, keep going, guys.
Simple as that. Keep on dueling. Well, and that's that I found that just kind of interesting. Twitter's, like I said, is full of, whether you're in wrestling Twitter or video game Twitter, and wherever you're at, you're going to have those people and you're going to have these weird conversations and tweets, and but it gives us something to talk about, right? Yeah. Joker, anything you want to add to that?
I'll say this, just so that everybody knows, I have my own little issues, but we've all said something that may have pissed off somebody, may have upset somebody in the past. We all have said something. Mm-hmm. We still have these people trying to be edgy, and at the same time, we still have keyboard warriors. it's not going to change. I'm trying to change so that I'm not overly offending anybody, but at the same time, I'm not going to sit here and just sugarcoat everything. So I'm trying to find a balance. Because back in the day, yeah, I grew up in an area where that kind of stuff led to fighting. It didn't matter if you were online or offline. It's time to go. So all I'm saying to everyone now, yes, that may have been upsetting. Maybe you lost somebody, like Unfound has said. But at the same time, know that this person is just trying to get a rise out of you. At a certain point, say what you got to say. Don't threaten, but just say it, move on. And if that person's still doing it, then that's a crappy person. Bleep, that's fractal, folks. And just move on. You don't need it.
Thank you.
Don't be overly offended to the point where just by someone breathing air, you think they're attacking you. Just find your balance, find your peace, and let it be. That's all I got to say.
Words of a wise man.
Also, to note real quick, the only people who deserve the disrespect are Mystic Mind players. And I keep that as a joke, by the way. Everyone, don't take offense to that one. I'm
offended. I'm gonna show up at your door and leave you in a bloody puddle. Dare you?
But at the same time,
Ansel Colby.
But at the same time, find a different deck.
I dab in Mystic Mind occasionally. It's not. You guys know what I run, so it's.
Hey,
I have a Mystic Mind deck, and it's awful.
Hey, let me give you some advice real quick. No. Just no.
No.
No. See, that's okay. Mystic Mind's not.
I know. That's why I only use it online. Somebody probably would try and leave me a bloody puddle if I actually dueled with it in person.
Buster luck!
They can try to, at least. We actually have our first guest on the podcast, and we're going to transition to that. Earlier, Shadowhaunt Joker and myself were able to talk with the Road Runner Gamer. So here you go. So we are honored to have our very first guest on the podcast. We have the Road Runner Gamer, who's here to tell us a little bit about the current state of the game, his deck, his goals and ambitions for YCS, and a few other things. So why don't you go ahead and take it away?
Yes, so right now it's remote dueling, but once Konami starts to live play again, I'm hoping to join my local tournaments and hopefully my way up to going to regionals and hopefully YCS someday. Lately I've been playing with my friends and stuff, getting deck building ideas and having fun, and I've learned a lot, over the years and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that you're local here in Tucson with me, and I know that you were pretty active in the local scene at a couple of different stores. What's the word on when they're going to start opening back up for tournaments? Have you heard?
I had Amazing Discoveries today to buy some cards and stuff, and they told me that they haven't still heard from Konami yet, but they'll let us know. I asked them if they're going to allow at least free play so people can practice. They said as long as they weren't having any other events, because I guess they host like Digimon tournaments and like Pokemon and stuff, and Magic, that people could, with limited capacity, people could come in and play and use their tables if they want.
Well, that's good. At least they're doing that. That's interesting, though, that Konami hasn't said anything yet. I know that Digimon has taken a good chunk of a player base. I know that they're getting more and more of the market share in players just because it's something new and exciting. I mean, it's a very expensive game. Have you played any other games like Digimon or Pokemon lately?
So I did learn how to play Pokemon because just one year where I just kind of got bored of like Yu-Gi-Oh, because at the time it just wasn't that interesting. Like I wasn't getting very good, so I was like, I'll give Pokemon a chance. So when I had a tablet, I had downloaded Pokemon trading card game on my tablet. Yeah. And I learned how to play, and then I bought a starter deck, and I didn't get to play with anyone, but I at least got to learn how to play the game. It was pretty fun. Like I was like, wow, I don't know why I wasn't playing this game like when I was younger,
Yeah, no, we have a few decks here. We don't know how to play. We don't know the first thing about it. I've tried to read the instructions, and I'm the type of person where I need to have somebody show me, like in person. I can't read an instruction booklet and learn how to play a game. How about you, Joker?
I pick it up as I watch you play it. That's the only way I'll learn. So there's that.
Well, hey, Roadrunner, what about? I know that like before, have you mentioned that you were talking about how you eventually like to start attending regionals and eventually qualify for YCS. Have you ever attended a regional to this date?
Oh, not yet. I would like to. I did try last year, way before the pandemic, but there was just so much stress on me. Like I ended up like having not like heart problems, but like anxiety attacks and stuff.
Oh,
so
wow.
I kind of had to take a break from Yu-Gi-Oh because it was just so stressful with work and not knowing what deck I was gonna play and all this other stuff. It was like, oh my gosh, and I didn't even know it was like that much. I thought it was like you go play, have fun type of thing, and that's it. But there's this whole thing of filling out a deck list, planning out your day, food and stuff. So it's just so much stress with having to figure out when I'm gonna work and stuff. So it's like, but now like I feel more like relaxed and confident and kind of have an idea of how I'm gonna go about doing that type of stuff.
Yeah, no, timing is everything. And I attended a couple of regionals back in like 2003, 2004. And I remember at the time that the highest I finished was top 18. Didn't quite qualify for anything, but it was a lot of fun. And but yeah, it's a long day, a lot of people. I mean, I think at the time there was over 400 people back then. I'm sure I don't know what they look like now. Have you ever attended anything like that, Joker?
I have quite a bit, and there is one thing I can recommend for you, Roadrunner.
Mm-hmm.
Buy a bag of after dinner mints, and just before you go into a tournament, eat like 5. It'll help calm the nerves. Or you can take like the peppermint candies, get spearmint and suck on it, and before you go into the match, it'll help you alleviate the whole stress. I do that to eliminate my anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
That's good advice. I might have to try that during my normal work days. Yeah, no, anxiety is definitely part of it. Yeah, the stress of getting which deck, and then you're counting the days down beforehand. What am I going to use? Should I use this in my side deck? Strategies. It can definitely work on you. It's not like a casual dueling where you do it for fun to kind of rock for life. Got to get that tag in there. So yeah, but I definitely wish you all the best of luck. What deck are you currently using? What meta deck are you beating everybody with right now?
Oh, right now, I haven't beaten everybody, but
you beat me.
Yeah, I am playing Zodiac Tri-Brigade Wireless. So it's Tri-Brigade Zodiac Wireless deck, and it's just really cool because like you take advantage of Tri-Brigade, Zodiac, and Wireless all being different type of monsters: Beast, Winged Beast, and Beast Warrior. And use multiple effects to take advantage and control your opponent with your field and stuff.
I know that the deck can swarm pretty well. I remember that first round when I ended up, you went first and you filled up the whole field and had about a couple of, I don't know how many interrupts or negates you had in the field, but I looked at my opening hand and I was using my S-Force deck. I remember that, and it wasn't even worth trying. I scooped that first round real quick. Second round went pretty well, and then, but yeah, that I can see where that deck can do a lot of good things, and I know that it's the Zodiac and Tri-Brigade is getting a lot of play, and the Lyrilisk is definitely an interesting addition. What made you go with that?
Okay, so what made me go with it was I was watching a remote duel invitational, and I saw for the Latin duels in Latin America, and I saw a duel where the player was playing Zodiac Outage, and the other person was playing I don't remember what they were playing, but I think it was something Tri-Brigade. But anyways, the Zodiac Outage player was using some Tri-Brigade cards, and I saw how fast they were able to bring out some links and stuff. So I was like, that's pretty cool. Like, I didn't even know like the Tri-Brigades existed because I skipped Phantom Rage. They had first introduced them in that set. And so I was like, oh, cool. Like, I think I want to play that deck, like Tri-Brigade something. So I ended up going to TCG player and I saw Tri-Brigade wireless deck. And I was like, this is cool. Like, I was reading the cards and stuff and I was like, this seems interesting, but I don't know how to play Zodiac. I never played Zodiac until I got used to them on the Nintendo Switch game that they came out with, Legacy of the Duelist Link Evolution.
Yeah, great game.
I got used to playing Zodiacs, and then I was just like, if I throw a wireless in there, like, I can get some extra extenders and stuff, and the Winged Beast, win. So like, that's kind of what like inspired me. It was like, I want to do like Tri-Brigade, Zodiac, and then wireless. Because Tri-Brigade, like in the name, Tri 3. So I was just Beast Warrior, Winged Beast, but why not 3 archetypes into one to work together? So
that makes sense. That's interesting how you did that. I like that. I'm a fan of that kind of stuff. So yeah. What about you, Joker? Have you run into any of the deck like this, Tri-Brigade, Zodiac, Lurelisk?
Only once, other than Roadrunners.
Oh, that's right. You guys have dueled before. That's right.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
And I got to see Joker's scrap oops deck. Pretty strong and interesting. Like, it kind of threw me off. I had a headache throughout the whole game because I was just like, what's going on? Like, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I wanted to like negate these scrap monsters, but yet again, I'm worried about the back row. Like, I made the mistake. I think I like did twisters or Harpy's Feather Dust or something, but Joker ended up flipping a Stardust.
Starlight Road. Great card.
And I was like, not expecting that. And then he didn't summon out a Stardust Dragon, and I forgot that effect was optional. But it was just
nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Yeah, that oops. Yeah, you made the oops and tried to destroy the back row. So that's interesting. I'm gonna have to prepare a deck to play. I'm gonna have to get my S-Force ready or something like that to give it a shot. Hopefully I don't say oops too much during that duel, but who knows? So
yeah. So one thing I wanted to do was because I started Yu-Gi-Oh in I'm not sure, like maybe like the early 2000s when the anime came out. I remember like walking into remember Alcon Mall?
Oh yeah.
When it was like popular and stuff. Do you remember the KB Toy Store?
Yeah.
So like I saw like they had Yu-Gi-Oh packs, like there was Metal Raiders and Blue Eyes, and so I was like, oh cool. I didn't know they make Yu-Gi-Oh cards from the show. So like I got my mom to buy me one, and I remember like pulling the cards out and like I didn't even know what they do, and I was just like kind of laughing because I was like, this is kind of funny, like these effects and stuff. Like, well, one thing was cool is like I remember on the first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh when Pegasus played the Illusionist Mage, and that was my one of my common cards that I got out of that pack. And so kind of like I didn't know how to play then, and so it wasn't until middle school that I actually got taught how to play because back then there was this thing where you play Yu-Gi-Oh in school, but you made up your own rules until you actually found out how to play.
I've heard of that, and actually my oldest son does that with his friends even to this day. He only speed duels every now and then. He knows how to do that, But when him and his buddies get together and they bust out the Yu-Gi-Oh cards, they tend to make up their own rules. I've heard of that, and I remember being at a couple of stores and kids. Maybe you were that kid that would ask me if I wanted to play tributes or not. Who knows? I know we used to frequent the same stores back then.
So when I was playing with my middle school friends, I brought my I think it was a starter deck Pegasus, and I ended up trying to normal summon like tune summon Skull without like 2-1 or something. They're like, you can't do that. And they're like, yeah, you can. In the show, you can summon out monsters and stuff, like high levels. And then it wasn't until they were showing me how to play, and I still didn't know what was going on. Like, it probably took like maybe 4 days out of the week of practice just to show me what was going on and stuff.
Yeah, we all have our road to where we learned and went through a tough phase trying to learn stuff and realizing that the enemy is not quite how the actual card game is played. So that's always fun to hear those types of stories. Now, going forward, I know, we're talking ban list is coming right up. Do you think anything on your deck is going to get hit?
No, I mean, if anything, maybe like semi-limited or limited. Tri-brigade Factol maybe being semi-limited or limited, just because you could send it to the graveyard and then you could send any level 3 or lower winged beast or beast warrior to the deck. So that's kind of like extra foolish burials, for the deck. So like I'm thinking maybe just to slow it down a little bit, it could be like limited or semi-limited, but I don't really think so, because there's like a lot of stuff that can top of played. Like you have you have Ash Blossom Ghosts, Joyous Spring, Ash Blossom Joyous Spring, you have Call Monster, you got Ghost, Bellhunt, and Mansion. So you have all these hand traps that can just stop plays and stuff. And then there's still a monster, Nibiru, the Primal Being. They kind of plays, like if I go into the 5th summon, my opponent can just easily tribute all my monsters off. So yeah, I don't think anything really will get hit.
Well, that's good, because I know you've spent a lot of time and effort building that deck and you're very excited about it. So I really hope that, nothing gets hit too hard or anything like that. And we definitely, I know I'll be keeping track of your progress once the tournaments open back up, and we'll definitely be rooting for you in your corner, wishing you all the best, my friend. Now, for anybody who's not familiar with you, I know that you have a YouTube channel and you also have an Instagram page. So why don't you go ahead and tell the viewers and listeners where they can find you?
Yes, if you go to my Instagram page, I'm going to be under the Roadrunner Gamer, and then also YouTube is the same thing, the Roadrunner Gamer. I don't have any current new videos on my YouTube channel. I do have 2 deck profiles, Dragon Maid deck profile, and also Megalith profile. I have to warn you though about the the Dragon Maid profile. So it was my first video, and I didn't know like how to do the sound quality, so it's kind of bad, but you could still see like the cards and stuff, So.
Just like in Yu-Gi-Oh, we all got to start somewhere. I know my first videos, I was sounding like a robot trying to sound too perfect, and we all have our little cringe where I can see Joker. He probably is thinking about his first video too, and
all I'm gonna say is bleep fractal, folks.
And one more thing I wanted to say is
sure.
So like recently, like Konami just started like releasing out. Well, I guess they've been doing it for a while now. They've been releasing lost art cards and stuff. So like players to buy their product. So when they release these out, you have to spend $30 or more in product. And one of the cards that I was excited for was the lost art card, Dark Condition Girl.
Oh yeah, I remember when you got that
Last year, and they did a re-release of her this year. And so I was trying to tell everyone, this is your second chance of getting this card. Like, get it if you can. Like, you know. But yeah, it's kind of crazy because I seen this card go up and down in price, and I don't know why someone would put a posting of $2,000 like to sell this
I
card.
explain that later. Trust me.
Wow. I remember it going to $80, but $2,000, that's pretty extreme. Well, I'm glad you got yours. I actually never ended up getting mine, even when they did the reprints. But you know, hey, it is what it is. Maybe I'll come across one someday. But hey, thank you so much. Really appreciate you coming out and taking the time to join us. Joker, thank you as well. And like I said, we wish you all the best, my friend.
All right. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And
absolutely. All right. So that was interesting. Certainly wish him all the best. Thank you, Roadrunner Gamer, for joining us and taking some time to join us. We wish you all the best of luck. Look forward to possibly having you again in the future. Thank you so much, guys. Yes, we will be get more and more guests as we go along. We're looking forward to that. We do have a few lined up in the future. Let's move on to our hot topic of the episode, and today I want to talk about players. How do player, you thought of this, Mr. Joker, players returning and getting started? What are some of the issues they face? What should they do? And this was mainly your topic, Joker, so I'm going to let you kind of lead us down the path that you want this discussion to go.
Well, this is coming from someone who just recently came back in as well, because at a certain point I was like, there's not much really I want to do. Playing my PlayStation isn't really cutting the mustard. So what can I possibly go back to? Yu-Gi-Oh came to mind. But I've noticed that when I came back into it, it was far different from when it was just the beginning of Pendulum Summoning. So I had to relearn everything. I had to learn links. And from that point on, I learned about combo decks. But then other people started asking me as I was doing the podcast, hey, I want to get back into Yu-Gi-Oh, but how do I begin? Everything's so expensive now. How do I learn about the formats? First thing I told them was, there's a video game called Legacy of the Duelist, Link Revolution or Evolution. I lose sight of the mind of that game, but it's a very good game. It can teach you the basic mechanics of everything, and it can actually have, I think, up to the year 2000 format cards, so you can start with that.
Oh, they just updated it last year.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, in March.
Excellent.
Wow. Well,
phenomenal game.
Yeah, I'm still playing it. I'm trying to get it platinum. So there's that. I also told them that there are certain decks that, even though they're not expensive and competitive, it can actually get them going. And I told them not to play Mystic Mine unless you really want to lose friends.
Thank you for that.
Hey,
thank you.
I don't make the rules, people. I've gotten so much hate with that. And one of the things I told them was that some of the cards that they have, since they're old from the very beginning, if they sold a couple of them, since they don't really care for them, they can use that to help build up and get the cards that they need for other decks. And so far, everybody's saying, well, that's fine and dandy, but how do I learn certain combos? I said, I know somebody by the name of that dude, Colby, a part of the El Toro Fuerte crew. And if you want some hard justice, play against them or play against Unfound Prodigy. I'm just the guy on the market. I'll sell you the ammunition. You got to learn to fight with these guys.
I love the way you put that. This could be, we could have a good business model here in the future. Let's do this. That is great advice. The video game itself really has amazing tutorials, and it'll take you back again to the original game. What is a trap? It's a quick play, everything. And then it moves on, synchro summoning, exceed summoning, pendulums, and you name it. I mean, I probably missed a few in there, and it's just a great game, and it is a great tool to help you learn. Now, one of the things that I always tell people when they say, well, what should I do and to get started? That's a great way to do it. If you can't afford the video game, if you don't have a Switch or a PlayStation or whatever it is, that's okay. there are speed duel decks, which again, those might be hard to come by these days because of all the scalping and everything. But speed dueling is a lot of fun. It is simpler to learn. It still has its things that get you, and really just kind of learning the basics of the actual game itself, taking it easy, not jumping anything. But there are a lot of good videos, and I don't know any off the top of my head, where people actually do teach you how to play the game. Colby has done a great job of he actually showed me how to play the game with the links when I first started doing the YouTube thing, and I said, I want to start learning how to play, and you kicked my butt, as you guys know, with Solomon. Great.
Best deck.
And so there are a lot of different ways you can do it. One of the things I tell people is don't watch too many of the large influencer channels on YouTube. And the reason I say that, because you can easily get discouraged. Now you have one, I'm not going to name names because these guys don't need any additional exposure, but I also don't want anybody coming after me and getting the wrong idea. You have one that every deck that comes out is fire, is phenomenal, is amazing, and it's just not the case. And then you have another individual who trashes everything that comes out, and so there, it's kind of a weird balance how things go. It's hard to find I would say stick with smaller channels and look at deck profiles. A lot of these guys do a phenomenal job of explaining the whys and hows and the ratios, and so you can get into a lot of detail. But I don't think there's a lot of people that actually show you how to play the game. Have you found anything like that, Prodigy?
I have not actually. I'm pretty sure there's some how-tos out there, but I mean, starting from the beginning, I don't think there's many. A lot of people assume that by now, if you haven't started Yu-Gi-Oh since 2000, I guess you're not gonna start now. So there's no reason to go all the way back there. So I mean, that's why Legacy. I mean, was it Link Evolution is a pretty good game, like Joker said. I mean, I would definitely go that route. That's the route I went back to when I started playing again during quarantine. I bought that game and I was like, I think I would like the feel of cards now after playing this. And I went down the route on YouTube and I started watching these big channels. I mean, that's the first thing that pops up when you go look up Yu-Gi-Oh! You see the big channels and you see these guys pulling all these great cards, and I'm like, I think I want cards now. That was my going back into Yu-Gi-Oh! Session. But Speed Duels is definitely great. I think you definitely want to see these prices now. At the Kaiba and Yugi Speed Duel booster box was like around $30 when I got it. And it had all the classic cards in there. Nothing meta breaking, but just like real classic cards. But and it was amazing. I was like, I have all these cards, yeah.
Trip down memory lane.
And I think that's like the best way to go down. So I mean, if you want to see if you really love the game, if you really want to get back into it, start small. Don't go big like these big channels. They will tell you that you need 3 Pot of Extravagance, 3 Ice Dragons, 3 this and this, Lightning Storms, and you're out $1,000 already. Just to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. Yeah. So start small, see if you love it. Definitely test decks online. That's one thing I had to learn. There's a lot of simulators out there that will help you see what cards you love. And if you really, really love the deck and if you want the cards, you'll buy it. Then, get back into the game. And play with friends, play with bots. And yeah, that's my advice, guys.
That is great advice, and I agree with you on that. Going back to the large channels, like you said, I mean, again, it could easily discourage people from playing because they see these meta profiles, and most of the time they even have videos that aren't meta decks, but they say, oh, this deck is fire, and they throw in all these expensive cards, and when you go and look at these cards, you're like, oh wow, man, I don't know if I want to play this game, but there are online platforms that are free to play. Dueling Nexus, EDO Pro, Dueling Book is another one, I think, and I might even missed one. But those are good ways to get in it. But to really learn the game, it's tough. And I know doing a video with a tutorial can be exhausting. I did one a while back for the Monster Club Corporation, and I had promised the group, the Monster Club group, that I would have it by a certain day, and that day came, and I just didn't have enough time to edit and everything. There was so many more things I wanted to do, but I just ended up uploading it. And it wasn't bad, but there was a lot of things that were missed, that if I had taken more time, had more time, it would have come out better. But doing that, teaching people how to play the game, can be a little exhausting at times. Colby, give us your thoughts.
So believe it or not, I actually had 2 friends that I had brought up and taught. And then the 2 friends that got me into the game, I am now their teacher, because ever since junior year or second semester, when I first obtained Salmon Grape, I've yet to lose a match to them. And so with 2 friends I have, I don't know if I'm supposed to say their names, so I'm just going to say J and A in short. With J, when I first got Salads, I had 3 of the structure deck. At the time, I didn't need 3, so I just handed him 1. And he was really liking it, but he also found links a little too confusing. So I went up to him and I'm like, hey, links are these, Xyz do these, synchros do these, fusions do these, or would you rather run none of those? And he said none. So immediately, first comes the thought, not Mystic Mind, because no. Or B, Monarch. So I brought him up the idea of what Monarchs do. He instantly loved that idea. And, against us, like me and the 2 friends I had that I now teach, don't worry, it's hard for him to win because, it's Monarch versus Dragon Link, Monarch versus Adamantipator, Monarch versus Salad, Ignister, Megalith. Don't worry, he can make it really challenging for us because, oh, hey, Stormforth, that unaffected beat stick, mine. Or, hey, I went first, you can no longer special summon. And all I did was summon twice. Where's your Nibiru? What are you going to use? And with the other friend, we kind of did similar. We told him a few structure decks that we saw at Walmart because he was literally brand new, never heard of the game beforehand. And he really liked Heroes, and we bought him a few extra packs with it, and we let him pick out his cards and went against one of the friends who was playing Generator. And he did probably the most stupid combo I could have thought of. Orklaw and what's Soul Levy. Now, I think everyone here knows what Dark Law does. Yes. Any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. You know what Soul Levy does? If your opponent special summons, you mill the top 3 cards of their deck to the graveyard. Now, what Generator does is that when you draw, you have to summon a monster, and if you do, you summon 4 tokens afterwards. So, in one draw, my friend had to banish 15 guards from his main deck to the banish zone.
Ooh.
Talk about pain right there.
Let him run Mystic Mind, please.
No. Yes, I was proud of that. And so, at certain points, if it's a when you look at, you have to find out what people like. Do they like combo decks? They like being active about it, going off about whatever your opponent does. There's like passive control decks where it's like, I'm going to set something up and I'm going to try to make it where you doing your stuff is super hard and I'm going to keep doing small pokes at you or, burn damage. Or you have the, stun. No, Mystic Mind, please, no. And, there's also like cards like Samorg, a combo stun, which actually, in case none of you guys knew, this is probably my least favorite out of all the decks I made. The reason being is because I love combo. The only time I don't is when I'm playing Magic the Gathering and all I'm doing is spam gaining life over and over. But it's ultimately down to finding out what type of player you are. Are you a combo player, a control player, or a stun player? And from there, you branch in different categories. Obviously, if you're a stun player, you're not going to play Salmon Great. If you're a combo player, you're probably going to play Salmon Great. If you're a control player, you're going to probably play Salmon Great. If you're a control player, you're going to play Altergeist. If you're a combo player, probably not Altergeist. Right? Like from there, you kind of find out, and then you find out what type of preference you like. Do you like just using the main deck and nothing else? Do you like using synchros or Xyz or links or fusions? Do you like a mix of everything? It's kind of down from there. Once you have that premise, the large list of archetypes and choices you have is now a lot smaller, and you get an idea of what you're going to want to run. And from there, it's just kind of learning about that specific deck.
Very true. And thank you for that. And I think it helps. Don't try to get into competitive too soon if you're starting this game.
Yeah, that is something I have to bring up too. If you're trying to get into it, don't step into competitive first thing. You will very rapidly learn many ways that decks get thwarted. When you first start off, you're never going to hear about hand traps. You're just going to learn about your deck. All of a sudden, you're learning about hand traps, mistiming, Zeus, Cowboy for game,
Zeus,
Mystic Mind, the worst card created.
Yeah, all the Boros. Yeah, and your head will be spinning, and you're just gonna say, "Heck with this! I'm gonna go back to playing poker," or whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, so I think we all are in agreement that the Link Evolution is a great way to get started in the game. My daughter plays that.
Oh, it is.
Making her way up.
Definitely.
So if you really, 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 hopefully you have the budget for it. If you want to start playing the game, buy that. If you have a Switch or a PlayStation or an Xbox, whatever, get that game. It's a great way to get started. That's probably honestly the best way to do it. Unless you have a friend or know somebody who knows how to play the game and they can kind of teach you the steps, because there are so many of them. I mean, I've been playing since day one and took breaks here and there, but even Pendulum still kind of confused me a little bit.
Stay away from Pendulum, guys.
Yeah, don't play Pendulum. Pen not best deck, okay? I don't care what they say.
Yeah, Pen.
No Electromite.
We don't need a magnifying glass when dueling. Come on now.
Yeah.
We don't.
Pendulum summoning makes you feel old.
We don't.
Trust me.
We don't want to read the amount of words equal to that are in the dictionary to play our deck.
Yeah. I mean, look at our Lakino right here. I mean, look at all that text on there, and I'm sure, and then Pendulum is just way more than that, smaller print. But yeah, so that's a great way to get started into the game. Thank you all for your input on that. Now, piggybacking off that discussion, I saw a tweet where, and I've seen a lot of people talk about this, creators on Twitter who are quitting the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, some of them do it for attention. I'm thinking about quitting. Oh, no, don't. You're great. Don't quit. We love you. Okay, I won't quit. They look for attention. But you have others, who are literally hanging it up for whatever reason. And the reasons that I have here are pretty interesting. One thing, one person said OTS local stores are now scalping. That's concerning. Prices online are worse. They're getting worse. That is a given. Prices are just skyrocketing.
And that's
because what it is.
It is because of the pandemic.
Pack openers.
Hey,
it's a joke. Meta decks are very expensive. Yes. Power creep.
Yeah.
Yes. And arrogant attitude of players. I agree to a certain point. When you get into competitive, there is a large, and not just competitive, there are you casuals out there who kind of tip your noses at the competitive people, peasants and whatnot. And so there's such a divide. And me, I mean, I'll play a meta deck, but I prefer casual, and I don't care who you are. If you want to duel and you're cool and you want to have fun and joke and play, let's duel. Let's have fun. That's what it's supposed to be about. But let's get back to the reason why players are quitting. I mean, have any of you heard of this happening, Joker? Have you heard of that?
A couple. Well, one of my friends who's a content creator, she's not really quitting, so to speak. She's just taking a little breather because now Digimon's becoming a little bit more widestream.
Yes.
She has more access to that, and it's more affordable than getting certain cards for like Yu-Gi-Oh! So I understand her on that subject. And as far as it goes with like certain other people quitting, some of them are saying they're quitting because one, the scalping, two, that video that everybody saw kind of made them feel a little uneasy. So they want to take a hiatus for right now.
Yeah.
And lastly, the reason why people are quitting, format change, but they will be back probably September ban list. If not, then they're gone for good.
They will have the ban list blues. Mr. Prodigy, what have you heard?
I mean, just going off my own experience, for someone who's just come back to the game like 10, 12 years later after they just quit Yu-Gi-Oh! Cold turkey, I think one of the main reasons why people leave the game is, well, one of the reasons why I left the game was there was no one around to actually play the game with. I think that's one of the main factors. There's like,
Nope, we lost him. Okay.
Did he just get banned?
I didn't touch anything.
Konami is listening.
They are. Holy cow, we're getting canceled here on our own. We're getting censored on our own podcast. What's going on here? Okay. Well, let's pull it back. So look, Colby disappeared into the Shadow Realm, and our friend Prodigy also got sucked in. So it's me, it's Joker. Hopefully we there's Colby. Okay, so one of the things that's been coming up a lot is these OTS stores that are scalping, and they have one of my friends, Easy Maje, on Instagram brought it up, how a lot of them are doing a lot of greedy tactics where, and there's not a lot of details involved, but their system with the OTS packs and what you can and can't buy and how many packs you get, and a lot of them are ending up keeping these ultimate rares or finding there's some type of system, and I don't have the details. I'll get more, I promise. This is just not just speculation. This is really happening, where a lot of these OTS stores are able to identify the packs that have these and are, ripping them open and of course selling the ultimate rares and profiting from it. That's not the only thing. There are so many other things that are going on, but I see that a lot where OTS stores are scalping, and I see that on Twitter where people are talking about that. So it really is happening. I'm not the only one. I'm seeing a lot. When you have so many other people talking about it, it's not always necessarily a lie. It's not speculation. It really is happening. And players leaving, one of the things, like you said, Digimon is growing. It's getting momentum, and I see a lot of players kind of making the crossover. There you go. And I myself have thought about it. I just honestly, I don't have the desire or the energy or time to start an all new game just yet, even though I do play a ton of other games. But in terms of TCGs, I have Monster Club Corporation. I have Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I have Magic the Gathering cards. I have Dragon Ball Z cards, and probably a whole Final Fantasy is another one. So I have a ton of cards that I don't always. Again, my kids don't know how to play half those games. We have Pokemon cards. We have a couple decks. If I buy Digimon cards, my wife's gonna smack me. Not really. She's gonna leave me in a bloody puddle, right? But yeah, so I just, there's just so many games right now, and I'm sticking with Yu-Gi-Oh and Monster Club. I love Dragon Ball. I love Magic the Gathering. So shout out to you Magic players, those of you cool Magic players. But in terms of availability, I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh is tough to get your hands on right now. Digimon, it's a little tough. It's getting there, but it's expensive, man. The boxes are what, $150 to $200. I've seen starter decks up to $50. To me, that's kind of crazy. But I mean, there are a few shops like Otaku Nation here in Tucson who sells them at their suggested retail price. Now they sell out like crazy, but they also have a huge player base, tournaments, all that stuff going on there. Joker, what are your thoughts on that?
I think people were expecting this game to die out and just be a memorabilia type of collection, but people actually want to play it, and it has some rules to actually teach you a better grasp on the game. So it's like, okay, never mind, it's actually getting good. And to me, yeah, there's a lot of people that are sitting here trying to be like, yeah, this card is $500, so if you want this box, and they don't realize that card kind of gets reprinted a lot, so the prices are going to drop eventually, and scalpers are having a hard time with it because it's like, yeah, but these decks are going out of rotation. They're still pushing them in the stores. Yeah. So the prices are just, like I call it, the scam sellers and whatnot. Mm-hmm. They're doing that. Yeah. But it'll go down. Don't worry.
Well, that's interesting. Colby, have you heard of any content creators? And I know a lot of content creators are very, very upset right now because of the delays in the upcoming sets and structure decks, whatever it is. Recently, there was announced that one of them was pushed back 6 months. So a lot of content creators are very upset because they do pack openings, they do reviews and all that stuff, and that's what they like to do. So now they have to think of other stuff to come up with. Do a podcast. Anyways, Colby, talk to us, man.
Honestly, I just see it as more of like an expensive type of deal. That's why people are having a hard time getting in. And the reason why people are leaving is because, like I said, it's super expensive. It might be very hard for them. Another reason I see it leaving is because more so of the community. Mm-hmm. This is more towards Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh has like a very toxic community, especially online.
Yes.
So it's one of those types of deals where it's like they may not just want to deal with it.
Yeah. And
then with Magic the Gathering, I didn't see too much toxicity when I did Magic the Gathering for a while. Honestly, it was really relaxed to a point where I was told I was helping a guy make a server on Discord, and out of like the 60-ish people that were around in it when I was in there, I don't think we had a single issue pop up except just like questions of like, hey, can I do this? Or hey, can I do that? And we didn't really care. We were just like, yeah, sure, why not? And we still ran into no issues. Yeah. Everyone there is really, really kind. And I'm gonna bring this point up again. When I was getting into it, I had no idea what I was doing. And then one guy, when I was telling him like, oh yeah, I'm running this, I think I might try to run this. He was like, oh yeah, I have spares of these like world championship versions of these cards that are, I think they're now a little easier to come by, but back when the time I got them, they were slightly difficult. He was like, you need 4? I have 2 of the world championship, 1 and 2 of the regular. Mm-hmm. Here you go. He's wanting to help out, get a new player into the game. And that's something I think a lot of card games need to do. And try to help out the new community get into it, not make it super like, let's say this is a regular bar for like a regular TCGA. Magic Gathering is kind of like this. I don't know Digimon. For what I'm hearing, it's kind of like this, and the reason being is because of price standpoint. And then here's Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes.
Yu-Gi-Oh has the worst of both worlds, where it's expensive, not as much as Digimon for what I'm seeing, but then most of this is toxicity. And then as you keep going up, you start to realize it's kind of curving this way.
Great point. Now, another reason I tell people not to necessarily pay too much attention to the large content creator channels is because, perfect example, the Egyptian god decks. Now, if you have a nostalgia fan of the anime who wants to start playing the game, I'll start with those decks. That's not a bad way to get started. They're not too complicated, but you have big influencer over here saying, this is garbage. You're wasting your money. Don't buy it. And right away, these people are discouraged. But if you have somebody who doesn't really give a damn about competitive Yu-Gi-Oh, or at least not yet, and they want to get started in this game, I've seen the card list on these decks. They're not that bad. It's not a bad way to learn the game if you have somebody that can show you and just somebody to play against. And that's my opinion. But again, you can watch any number of content creators and get easily discouraged. You see the ones who market watch and they're talking about the price points. Well, you need 3 of this card, but the market's going up on it, so buy it now, or don't buy this card, whatever it is. And again, I'm not saying watch these guys or not, whatever. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's easy to get discouraged. So if you're interested in playing the game, pick up the video game. If you're quitting because Digimon's more interesting, give it a shot. Now, in terms of toxicity, one community that I really, 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 really like is the Monster Club Corporation community. They have a Discord server. They do a lot of remote dueling, but that is the most laid back, easygoing community in terms of TCGs that I have ever encountered. Love you guys. Mr. Joker, you seem like you got a few more things you want to talk about. Hit us.
All I'm gonna say is, when it comes to these Egyptian gods structure decks, play them. Relive that moment of Yugi versus Kaba in Battle City. That's something that old heads like us can actually relate to on that. And by the way, yes, I'm buying one of each. But as far as it goes with like which content creators to watch, which ones not to watch, everybody will always say this one channel no matter what it is. But I'm not saying watch it, don't watch it, but everyone will always say Team APS is actually the more legit one. Now the rest, it's up for you to decide after that. But everybody that starts off seller, deck builder, market watch, all watch them first, and then they go from there.
Mm-hmm.
And they do have some sound advice, I will say that. But the rest, it's up for you to decide.
I'm a big fan of those guys, and I have to agree with you. If you're gonna watch anybody, watch Team APS. Not only you'll learn a few things about the decks and strategies and everything, but you're gonna laugh because they do some pretty good skits. Now we've done a few skits of our own that I think are pretty good. They just didn't find enough of the right audience. But Team APS, yes, I agree with you on that. But yeah, I mean, and maybe that's something we can work on too. I know your video that you put out today, that where you were opening up Digimon packs, but you were also discussing, certain topics about sellers and everything. I'm looking forward to you making more videos on showing people how to become a better seller. Now we can start there, then we can most certainly brainstorm and maybe come up with ideas on how to teach people how to ease them into the game, whether they're new or returning, and hopefully other players who are very caught up in meta and power creep and everything, and that's all they know. Maybe we can show them another side of the game, because when I was younger and competitive, I just wanted to play competitive. I wanted to play in tournaments. I wanted to win. That's all I want to do. Now, I mean, I like to win. I play to win, but I'll use Dream Mirror decks to play to have fun. I'll use S-Force. I'll use Aramage, Rika, whatever it is. If I like the artwork and I think the playstyle's cool, I'm gonna try it. That's just me. But I think if more people were to appreciate the game for what it is, not all meta competitive, YCS, I want to be king of games. That's great. Have those ambitions. But also step back and see the forest for the trees. There's a lot of fun to be had with certain decks that are considered trash by the competitive community, that if you blocked all that out and you're doing somebody like-minded, you can have a lot of fun playing the game. I mean, am I wrong, Colby? Talk to me.
It's one of the things where it depends per person. Okay, I know between me and my top two friends, we'll take things competitive with each other any day of the week. Again, like I said, we have Ignister, Salamangreat, Dragon Link, Adamantipator, Dark Magician. Oh God, what was he playing beforehand? Generator. And before that, he was playing Mech Knight. Before that, I was playing Code Talker. Before I knew how to play Code Talker.
Yeah.
It just ultimately depends on the type of audience you're with. It's not bad to go back and stick with casual. Look at me. I did Megalith and I did some work. Yes, they became meta later on. That is not my fault. Konami, stop watching me. I wanted to play birds and then everyone flipped out. Stop.
Yeah.
But back to my main point. It's not bad to stick with the casual audience as well. You might learn a lot of new things from the casual audience too. Don't wrong. Is it fun to play meta? Is it fun to play competitive? Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Especially with the right people. I know me and my two friends, we really enjoy being competitive with each other. But at the same time, when I'm playing casual with one friend who's playing Monarch, and I'll bust out my Samor deck and tell him, hey, you can't special summon except Wind, knowing for a fact he has no extra deck because it's Monarch, and the only special summon he would do is maybe the one Squire from the deck, using the one Squire he normal summoned. Cool, that's nice. It's not bad. But in the very end of the day, it just kind of depends on your audience. If I'm going to face one friend who's playing Monarch, I'm not likely going to play Ignister. But if I'm going against my friends using their meta decks, I'll likely bring a Mister. I'll play some Morg. I'll play Meglit. I'll play anything I really want to with them.
Yeah. Good point.
That's how I see it.
Yeah. And that's a good way to look at it. And again, going back to my I'll give you your time here, Joker. But my point, when I was younger and I was competitive, keep in mind those were the early days, and there really was no casual. There was only one, and everything. If you wanted to play and actually have a chance to win, you had to use the cards, and everything was limited on the ban list, and those were all considered staples. We're talking 2002, 3, 4 Yu-Gi-Oh here. So if you know anything about that, you know what I dealt with. I wish that I could have made more archetype decks back then. The way the game is now is how I would have loved to have had it back then. So anyways, old man Yu-Gi-Oh! Joker.
I'll just say this. The only deck that I play that's complete trash and competitive zone is War Rocks. But I love the fact that everybody hates it. I love it for one reason. Okay, you hate it. I enjoy it. That just means it's more for me to play, more for me to have fun.
Yeah.
I'll play with all these other decks, but if I'm playing like on something else, I'm gonna run that because it reminds me of the old school dual monsters Yu-Gi-Oh. Basically, if it had came back during that time, that deck would have been seen as, oh man, that's insane. That needs to be banned. But now it's like, graveyard battle.
Yeah,
it's funny to me.
Yeah, and I'm with you. I like to play decks that maybe people don't necessarily like. I mean, I like S-Force. I like Sun Avalon. Now, Amazement caught my eye. I want to play it. So, but yeah, I agree with you. And so I think we can all agree that there are a lot of ways to get started into the game. And there are a lot of reasons to quit the game if you really want to find a reason. What I would suggest is if you're burned out, take a break, clear your head, go outside, have some fun, go for a walk, see nature, whatever it is, find another hobby that's not as expensive. Eventually you're going to come back to the game because it is a lot of fun. Now, you don't always have to spend $1,000 on a deck. I mean, I spend a lot of money on meta cards and I don't play in any tournament. I don't even play in locals, but I like to have them just for when I do play occasionally or the remote duel. If somebody wants to use a meta deck, I have a meta deck. Or if they want to play casual, I have a lot of casual decks. That's my preference. That's the way I do it. Not everybody wants to do it that way. They have one deck and that's it. But hey, it is what it is. If you're leaving, have fun with whatever you're doing. Look forward to seeing you come back. If you're a toxic player, please don't come back. Find another game. But yeah, so guys, thank you so much again for joining us. I know our friend Unfound Prodigy got banished to the Shadow Realm. Mid sentence, he was making a point and he got banished.
He's face down banished.
Yeah. So to wrap things up, let's so our Unfound Prodigy, he can be found on Instagram, Unfound Prodigy, YouTube channel, Unfound Prodigy, and also on Twitter at Prodigy_Unfound. Where can people find you, Mr. Joker?
Shadowhaunt Joker on Twitter and Shadowhaunt Joker on YouTube and Silver-Eyed Poet on Instagram. And because I haven't really thrown this out much, if you're looking for my store on TCG Player, it is Shadowhaunt Cardian, because someone took Shadowhaunt Joker and added something else, so I had to change it to Cardian.
Well, there you go. And to piggyback off that, Silver-Eyed Poet is doing a lot of flash sales on Instagram, on his posts and stories. So if you're hesitant, please do not be hesitant. This person is a genuine professional seller. He will communicate with you very quickly, offers amazing prices, will package your card, will send you pictures of the card in the condition that you want, will package it extremely safe, and will send it out almost the same day if he can. So, and I speak also as a buyer from him, but please, if you're hesitant on the fence, buy with confidence. That's what I have to say. Colby, What about you?
Before I start, really quickly for Mr. Joker, for your TCG, you could, instead of Cardian, you could say Cloudian. as a reference to Yugioh.
That's taken too.
Oh, dang.
Makes sense.
I know.
I'm assuming that was your first go-to.
Makes sense.
Anyways, you can find me at TDC_YGO, or you can find it on Mr. Fuente's channel, where I will be posting lots of deck profiles. Pretty soon we'll have a Paleozoic, Infernity.
Oh,
You already know what.
Yeah,
And-
I think I'm retired from doing deck profiles. So yes, Colby, thank you very much. And then
a physical one.
the almighty Ignisters.
I'm waiting for my mat to come in.
Oh, there you go. We got to have the flash, the flare. So yes,
yeah.
Thank you again. Thank you again to the Unfound Prodigy. Thank you to our first ever guest, the Road Runner Gamer. And we look forward to seeing. Thank you all for your support. We look forward to the next episode. Keep in mind, we will have another guest. So we're looking forward to that. Thank you, everybody. Take care.